Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, October the 3rd. This time I actually got it right. Hooray for freaking me. I'm gonna go have a cookie. I'll be back in a few minutes. Just, watch stuff happen. Yeah. No. Alright. Stage 1, I actually landed 2 boats of tanks, because you could go down either side. It doesn't matter. And eventually you're going to end up in the same place. If you go left, you're going to have to deal with a machine gun and a flamethrower, which for tanks ain't no thing. And if you go right, you're going to have to deal with one cannon. Either way, one shock, your tank should be able to handle it and everything will be okay. Now, stage 2, there is a crazy little boom cannon right behind the HQ. It has 4.2k hit points, which you'll probably have to drop some artillery barrage on, but everything else on the level is wicked low level, or everything on the stage is wicked low level, just to make it less confusing. And if you come around the right-hand side, you don't even have to take out the second boom cannon. You can just sit there and finish off the HQ, move on to stage 3. Excuse me. And I know what you're thinking. We've seen Grens, you've got Grens, and you haven't done anything with the Grens. Well, okay, let me change that then. So, stage 3 has the 2 boom cannons. They're both around, 8,000. Let's call it 7.5. Split the difference, 7,500, right? The one you definitely have to blow up. Technically, both of them you're gonna have to blow up. So whether you do this via GBE or Mad Grenadier skills, that's completely up to you. However, if you're using lower level grenadiers, be very, very careful, because that rocket launcher up right next to the HQ is crazy high level. It's like level 14 or higher, so it's going to put out some pretty decent damage. You got to make sure to have lots of medics around your grenadiers. Now, if you're rolling tanks through, obviously not quite as important. But, you'll get the idea. Okay, so let your grenadiers drunkenly toss damage in every way, shape, or form, in every direction except for where you want them, and then call it a level, move on to stage 4. Don't worry, we're dropping back to tanks. Now, if you're dropping a full complement of landing craft, you're going to have to smoke this landing, but that's okay, because it saves you from having to take out a 10.5k boom cannon. So in my books, that's like a massive win-win. The other nice thing about it is you're going to have to toss some GBE on the boom cannon back there to take it out. But while you do that, you can leave your tanks just kind of farming those flamethrowers. There's just 3 free flamethrowers. Like, alright, sweet. Extra GBE, why not? And then once you come up to the corner, throw a shock down, and your tanks will slowly work through the cannon and sniper tower. More importantly, the cannon, because it'll do more damage, I think. I don't know, it was, I guess, a higher level sniper tower too, right? Anyways, doesn't matter. Once you've taken out the sniper tower and the cannon, you can just move up onto the side and start shooting at the HQ. Obviously, I tossed a buttload of critters just to take out the mortar and speed things up on the old HQ here, because I had a little bit of extra GBE. I don't know, just a little. 3 digits worth of little, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Stage 5, dropping the 2 tanks and medics. I decided to go left-hand side, and the reason I went left-hand side is because there's a whole bunch of machine guns and flamethrowers and miscellaneous things down here that you can kind of peck away at and just farm up some free, or at least cheap GBE. You will have a couple rocket launchers that are tossing down at you, but your medics shouldn't really have that much trouble keeping things standing. Now, from here, after going through the left side, because I decided to cut left, one shock could take out most of the sniper tower problems, and then I was like, you know what, really, if I had cut all the way right, I could have farmed up more machine guns and flamethrowers to make life a little bit easier. And also, I feel like there are fewer sniper towers, even though there are some extra cannons, and it like turned into this whole thing. So I went left. If you have problems going left, try going right, just to see what happens. I think it'll be okay, hopefully. If it isn't, then I don't endorse this message or product. Yee. Alright, but yeah, if you do go left-hand side, watch out for the boom mine. I kind of left it sitting there, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. My tanks are going to just coast right on through, and then I'm going to flare them for a reposition, and I'm just going to, like, cut the difference. And then I saw a medic start heading straight at the boom mine, and I was just like, oh, gosh, no. So I did take out the boom mine, just because I didn't want to deal with the loss of a medic, but, maybe take out those boom mines ahead of time. Might make life a little bit easier for you. Moving on, well, after a few minutes of kaplowy time, because I was just like, I'm going to kill all of the things. Why the heck not? We're going to move on to Stage 6. And Stage 6 is where things start getting tough again. So I decided, because I was going Grank today, also, I didn't even mention, I'm going Grank today because I have finally and officially maxed out my Grenadiers, so I'm very excited and very happy. Even though it's tank weekend, I was like, yes, I gotta do some Gren attacks. So all day long I've been pestering the poor task force that I'm in and being like, I don't care if you're way lower level than me, I'm gonna attack you with my Grens, nah. Because I've just been having a really gay old time. Yeah. Anyways, once you take out the free GBE buildings, I like to call them, make sure to drop a shock right down on top of the sniper towers and the boom cannon and the cannon. Obviously, those are the things that are going to do bad stuff to your poor tanks and grenadiers, and just let them kind of plow away. Now, alternatively, because if you're trying to save some GBE, flare everything back down into the corner here, and then let them go up the right-hand side, because the right-hand side is honestly a lot weaker than the middle. I just kind of let them dig into the middle a little bit because I wanted it removed before my tanks got up to the top of the map, and I had to worry about, things from the middle coming out and doing silly things. But honestly, there's really no reason to, because coming around the top, as you will see, things get a little crazy. Our troops end up clearing right through the very top and taking out the dangerous stuff from the middle that we actually had to worry about, that, could reach up, and it does it just in such a lovely manner, made little gift bags. As it blew up buildings, it would give the gift bag out and be like, don't worry, there's a scrunchie inside. Ha! I don't know what would go in gift bags. Anyways, sleep deprivation does horrible things to you, by the way. That's my excuse, and I'm gonna stick to it. What's really nice is because we've got the Grenadiers here, and the tanks are just kind of doing their thing on the HQ, but the Grenadiers are kind of chilling here and just carpet bombing and actually taking out some of the buildings that still can damage the tanks. And even though we're focusing on the HQ, it's kind of nice because you get this extra damage in that you wouldn't have gotten normally. So if you're out of GBE at this point, let's say if you're lower level, you'd be able to go through and do this without having the sniper towers pick off a bunch of your tanks. I don't know. One of the nice things about the Granks, once you get up into that sniping position to finish off the base, the Grenadiers just wipe out a whole bunch of extra stuff just for good measure. Also, the one Grenadier I did lose last level, my bad. That was my own laziness. It's not the fault of the Grenadiers, I swear. Or the level. The level is pretty easy. It's definitely I've dealt with harder. Anyways, so for Stage 7, I decided to go right-hand side, and there's this crazy cluster of stuff. So I just dropped everything right-hand side, and I started throwing shocks, trying to hit as many sniper towers, cannons, like as many defenses as possible while taking out all the cannons and sniper towers. Maybe that's the best way to put this, because it's those sniper towers and cannons that are doing, I guess, the real damage to the tanks. The splash damage is not the greatest on the Grenadiers, but, you know, we can live with it. And then I found out one of the lovely things about Grenadiers, because I was like, wow, man, 22 energy for a shock, this is getting expensive. I gotta start tossing down some critters. Holy smokes, I can't believe I lost that word. And the Grenadiers make the critters kind of on the useless side if they're in the same vicinity of the building they're targeting. So, nice little learning thing there. Don't throw critters where your Grenadiers are tossing their ridiculous drunken AoE, because they all kill your critters. Okay then, so once we've taken out all of the nice free cheap stuff in the middle, and taking out all the scary stuff on the right hand side, right up into that top corner is where I sent them with a few extra heals just to get them situated. And then from here, your Granks can kind of push into the sniper tower protective casing around the HQ. The good news is one shock will actually take out all those sniper towers up there. And if, you know, the ones that had died were still there, like, you could also get those. So, added bonus, yeah? And then, from there, flare up into the very top right-hand corner, just because your troops are going to want to sort of drift south towards that boom cannon and the other two cannons, and that is a bad look for the tanks. Like, nothing will go well for them if you start letting them do that. But if you come from, like, right where I am there, you don't really have to worry about anything reaching out and hitting your tanks, and you've got a free, wide open shot at the HQ. And like I said, even if you're out of GBE at this point, because those crazy Grens are tossing crazy bombs all over, you're going to build up a little GBE and possibly, you know, make your life a little easier. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.